So who taught this farmer how to grow crops? Doesn't he know not to waste seeds? What kind of a farmer allows seeds to fall on a walking path or on rocks? Hasn't this farmer ever done this before? Does he go out to farm with such enthusiasm and such reckless abandon that he doesn't sow the seeds carefully in plowed ground that has been properly prepared for the seeds? Maybe the more experienced farmers make fun of him. They give each other little knowing looks because they know what will happen to the seeds if they're not planted correctly. Maybe the veterans just hope this rookie farmer will learn his lesson by planting next planting season. After all, no one allows seeds to fall where they're guaranteed to do no good, where nothing will come of the effort. You'll soon discover the difference between planting seeds and feeding the birds. Does the world see the church? Does the world see us the way the veteran farmers see this first timer who rushes out every day to see if his crops have worked their way through the thorn bushes? Does the world see us as naive and idealistic when we think the seed we throw around has any chance against today's problems like war, greed, and other damage that life does to our tender, easily bruised souls? Certainly we in the church hang our heads at our own failures. We feed pizza and the Bible to young people, some of whom sometimes still end up throwing their lives away on bad choices like drugs. We march against injustice, only to see injustice choke off our energy and effort. We see even our own church family members pat themselves on the back for their wealth and sometimes blame the poor for their hunger. Do we simply look foolish when we keep tossing our seeds? Certainly the farmer in the parable looks like someone who is setting himself up for disappointment. If we look at the soils, we see not only the farmer's mistakes, but also the insight that this parable has for life in the church, life for us. The farmer allows his seeds to land on the path. We assume the path leads to a field that has been plowed and made ready for successful farming. Does the farmer rush his efforts? Is he in too big a hurry to start the process correctly? Or doesn't he notice that the seeds fall in an unlikely spot? After all, people walk over this path all the time. That forms a hard surface on the ground, and the seeds have to be able to penetrate the soil. An experienced farmer knows the exact depth at which to plant the seeds. So even if the birds don't eat the seed, it's very unlikely any of them would grow on this path. Sometimes doesn't it seem like all of life walks all over the souls of some people? Don't some people form a hard shell to protect themselves? A hard shell can sometimes keep pain out, but it sometimes keeps everything else out too. A youngster who hears only criticisms and reprimands and tongue lashings while they're growing up also misses hearing kind, loving words, not daring to let loose of that shell. The church can offer some seeds, and maybe that shell cracks open a little bit, especially in December. But the small crack in the shell feels too scary, so it snaps back shut in January. Seeds can't grow. Some of the seeds fall on rocks. They might as well fall on the surface of the moon. Rocks can't nurture a plant. How did the farmer allow the seeds to end up there? Did he aim carefully enough? Don't some folks slip quietly in the back of the sanctuary? Now, don't take this personally, those of you sitting in the back. But don't some slip quietly in the back of the sanctuary just to see what it might offer for them? And somehow they get involved and they attend a board meeting and an argument breaks out how to manage the budget, cut spending, hold a fundraiser. The one who came quietly hoping to find some bit of good news kind of slips away quietly, promising to never try that again. If the farmer doesn't carefully avoid the path or the rocks, we shouldn't feel surprised when he allowed some seeds to end up among thorns. He obviously doesn't know better, so why not thorns too? The young plants just can't compete. The farmer ends up with nothing to take to the market. Don't some church members have a fit when they hear what Jesus really had to say about money, for example? Don't they protect themselves by saying the church cares only about their money? Don't they see the irony? Don't they see the thorns sprouting from their own money? We can understand the insight in this parable, this story that Jesus was telling. Some efforts at ministry seem to bear much fruit and yield a good harvest. We take joy in ministry with good, rich soil that someone prepared to receive the word, such as when parents do their part to bring their children to Sunday school or vacation Bible school, to teach them the Bible stories and pray with them. Ministry feels good in those situations. But some Sunday school or vacation Bible school classes also contain the grumpy child, the one who slumps in his or her chair, scowl on their face, and eyes that say, I don't want to be here, I'd rather be anywhere but here. We suspect someone, maybe even a misguided parent, has walked all over that child, leaving a hard shell, a hard surface. But it's not always the parent's fault. Some kids seem to be born resistant. We try to sow the seed on the path anyway. We love that child. We listen to that child. We try to help that child. But one day, the light bulb seems to flicker and dim, and the child suddenly stops coming to class. Who put out that light? Did we just fool ourselves when we thought we saw the light? We may never know what happened after that. Did we plant a seed only to feed the birds? We show up at the soup kitchen with a genuine desire to help. Some of those standing in line smile at us and thank us. Others just take the food without a word. They don't even acknowledge our presence. Later we find the little pieces of paper with the Bible verses that have been tucked into the sandwich bag spilling out of the trash barrel down the hall. Did we plant a seed, or did we only feed birds? We circulate petitions to build good housing in a neighborhood. We rejoice when the signature list gets full. We lobby and we work the phones. We know Jesus wants the poor to have safe, clean places in which to live. Everything is falling in place. Then some people in the neighborhood who are wealthy maybe find some way to kill the project. We tried to plant a seed, but the thorns just wouldn't let the sun shine. We go to workshops that promise us how to fight racism, We take careful notes. We leave that workshop with firm resolve to build bridges, to knock down walls and barriers, to fight for real equality and justice. And we find that racism, a thing that used to defiantly be in plain sight, now wears a mask. We have a hard time fighting racism because we can't pin it down. To fight it, words and thoughts nag at our ears. We think, I'm not a racist, but thorns. The cynics, the scoffers, the skeptics, pat themselves on the back for their wisdom. They say, the church means well, but its efforts don't do any real good. We ask ourselves, am I just going about this in the wrong way? Is it me? Should I just try harder? Maybe I should just hang it up. At least I tried. Today's parable, this familiar Bible story, kind of picks us up, brushes us off, and tells us to get back in the fight. God doesn't give up, and we shouldn't give up either. Even if allowing the seeds to fall on the path, the rocks or the thorns, maybe even if that seems foolish and naive, at least the farmer lets them fall. He gives the seeds a bit of a chance. The farmer knows that the grumpy kid sometimes surprises us and comes back. The hungry sometimes do read those little Bible verses in the sandwich bags. And the homes do get built. And the barriers do occasionally come down. The farmer knows that sowing a seed in the least likely places might provide a meal. And it might just provide some spiritual nourishment. We sow the seeds of grace, not because the soil looks promising, but because we trust God for the growth. We might not see the harvest for a long time. We might not see the harvest in this life. But God provides the seeds for us. God looks past the hard shell that we all sometimes form and the thorns. And he sees a place that needed a seed. Despite the nasty memory of what birds and thorns have done in the past, let us sow seeds with joy and with hope. Someday, these crops are indeed going to come in. If you have any prayer requests, I encourage you to bring them forth.